Hi everybody, it's Sandy Reese with Stampacrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me today. We have an awesome fun fold kind of pop-up moving card today. So get ready, lots of cool stuff coming. Just a quick reminder, new catalogs, new products coming out May 5th. Make sure to grab some of that last chance product while you can. We do have some that are discounted. And make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Then when you place a $50 order with me before tax and shipping online, I'm going to send you a kit of that month's card class projects for free. So who doesn't want free stuff? I know I do. Okay, let's get started. Okay, today we are going to be using the Be My Valentine stamp set and the Bee Builder Punch. These are not going away yet. They're still current. So we're going to do a fun little pop-up bee card. All right, I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to start with just a plain card base of Balmy Blue. And we're going to decorate the front, and then we'll get to the inside mechanism. So for the front, I am using some of the beautiful Bokeh designer paper. This one this is the only product we're using today that's on the last chance list. So it is discounted by maybe a couple dollars, maybe a few dollars, I'm not sure. But we're going to use this pattern here, just because I really like it's got some of the blue in it. And then I have another piece of Balmy Blue and a piece of the Mixed Up Patterns designer paper, which is in the current mini catalog, and this has not been discounted. It's still available. Whoops. And I'm just doing this because it had the kind of blue on blue tone, and I didn't want to take away from our main design. So I'm picking kind of settled designer papers, and we're just going to put that across the center. Oh, that liquid glue gives it just a second to kind of move around and adjust. Okay, I'm going to stamp on a 1/2 inch strip of basic white, and we're just going to use some Memento. I'm going to put this here so I can see it a little better. It just says, "You're as sweet as honey." All right, let's go ahead and stamp our inside sentiment while we're at it. I have a piece of, kind of a tall piece of white, and it says, "You'll always be the one for me." Okay, so that's the stamping. Now, we need some bees. Let me go ahead and trim this. And I'm just going to flag this. And we'll flag it on this end too. Okay. And I think we'll pop it up. We'll do 1, 2, 3. The mini pop-ups, or mini dimensionals, and I'm just going to pop that right across the center. All right, now I have already stamped my bees because I had to make 4 of them, and it takes a few minutes, so I went ahead and stamped. They're not perfect, but you know what? It's okay. I think I'll take my marker. Right now it's downstairs for class tomorrow night, but I'll kind of fix that with my marker. This one on this side was even worse. So I put together the bees. I've used a Daffodil Delight. I used Balmy Blue. And if you want, you could even use some Wink of Stella on the wings as well. Okay. I'm just grabbing some pieces of the edge of this one, these dimensionals. Okay, and then let's do one there. So we're going to put a couple bees on the front. Let's go ahead and do some dots. I have in color. These are the, what am I trying to say? These are the Darling Duckling, but I wanted, I don't know. I wanted yellow. So I also, before I had used some low profile dots. Now I did this card for my team. We had a team dinner and stamping night, and we did fun folds. So we did some that were maybe a little more involved, and this one definitely is one of those because sometimes these are a little too involved for class, and they can be done, they're a little more advanced, but we're gonna try to make it easy. I will post measurements on my blog so you can make one of these at home. So far, pretty easy. This is our inside sentiment. Now, this is the tricky part. I have a couple pieces of window sheet I don't want to lose. So we're going to take a piece, and I'm using Balmy Blue because it matches the card base. This is 1.5 by 4 1/4. So we're going to score this on the long side at 3/4, 2 1/4, 3, and then 3 1/4. And then we're going to take a ruler and the stylus, and we're going to score between these two. So this 3-inch will be right in the middle. Then I mark the red is what we're going to mountain fold. So we're going to fold it like a mountain. Okay, we're going to mountain fold that. We're going to mountain fold our diagonals. Now the green is going to be a valley fold where you fold it towards you. All right, so the goal is to, on this diagonal, poke in those sides and then crease it. All right, so it's going to look like this. Now here, I've just marked that because we'll see in a few minutes what we're going to do with that. But here's our piece of Balmy Blue. So I've done my mountain fold. I've done a mountain fold, 2 mountain folds here, and then I've done valley fold in the middle and a valley fold on the end. So we're going to glue this inside of our card, and I am going to fold, I'm going to push this in, make sure that's the valley fold, and we're going to glue this a couple ways. At first I'm going to glue this. I don't want it to seep out, but I'm going to place this end right inside the fold, kind of butt it up to the fold. And then this is going to be straight and flat. So I'm gluing down that piece, and I have this little point here. You can do it either way. All right. And then I'm going to put my glue on the top of this panel right here. Hold it flat and then close that. So it's gluing actually to this side of the card. Okay, but I want it to be flat when it's all laid down, so I'm closing it this way. All right, so this is going to be our pop-up mechanism. I've got a little glue right there. Let me see if I can get that off. Just using a little adhesive remover. Okay, so when I lay this flat, we're going to have a panel here. We've got our folding mechanism. Okay, just like that. So this is going to glue here, right on that panel. I'm not going to put it exactly all the way. Well, I'll probably put it pretty close. And then I showed you on here, I've drawn these 2 little circles. So what I'm going to do is take my little pieces of window sheet, and these are 1/4 inch by 1.5. They're very small. We're going to grab some glue dots, and I'm going to put 2 glue dots on the end. Let me find some glue dots here. Where are my glue dots? Oh, they're on the back side. All right, so I'm going to put a glue dot right at the end, and then a glue dot right next to it. I just want to make sure it's going to attach enough. I want it to be stable. And then I'm going to glue it inside, right next to that center, that little valley flip fold that we did. Okay, so right now it's stuck right here on this little triangle. We're going to do the same thing for the other one. So we've cut 2 of these, and these are going to hold our bees. So put a glue dot there and a glue dot right next to it. Just making sure I have enough strength, and I'm going to do the other one on this, on the bottom opposite. Okay, so can you see where those, right here and right here, butt it up to that little fold. All right, so they kind of poke out when we close them. They kind of move like windshield wipers. You see that? You can even hear them. Little windshield wipers. Okay. Now, when your card is open, that's when you want your bees to be popped out. So I'm going to maybe put one bee kind of going like that, one like this. So what we need to do is put glue dots on the top. So that was on the bottom. We're going to put a glue dot on the top. I'm just going to pick that glue dot off of there so I can see a little better. Oh, that wasn't very good. Let's try that again. Let's see if I can do this better. I fold that right at the edge of the glue dot. All right. I'm going to put my glue dot right here. I might have to put 2. Okay. All right, I'm going to put a glue dot right here. They're kind of getting turned over on itself. I'm going to add an extra glue dot just to be safe. Hopefully it won't, if it's in the way, I'll move it. If not, we'll be extra sturdy. Okay, glue dot right there. Okay, those were a little better. I want to make sure they're not sticking out past the window sheet strip. Okay, that's good. All right, so we want our bees to be within the card and kind of over on the edge. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to put this bee maybe coming down a little bit. So the wing, the little glue dots and the window sheet are under the wings. All right, so if I go to close my card, they're going to fold in. So you can kind of see they move. Now, I think I need to scooch my bee up a little bit because he's getting real close to the bottom of the card. Let me see if I can put that on. And I'm going to put him up a little further. Let's see if he'll stick there. I don't want him to poke out under the card. So it's okay if he's close. We just don't want them to poke out past where our card is. Because then that would like hide the magic, right? Okay, so I hope everybody's good with what we have so far. And then it's a little bulky, but that's okay. So we're going to glue this on next. We're going to glue this to this blank panel right here. I don't want glue to seep out. So I want it flush with the bottom and the top. So I'm going to glue it right there, but I'm making sure it's even with the bottom and the top. And then on the edge, I'm not going past the edge of the crease here. I'm just going to glue that right there. And then here we go. You ready? So here's our card. We're going to open it. And your little bees pop out. Isn't that cute? You can put a little wink of Stella on their wings. I just think this is the funnest card. I will leave this here. I'll also take a picture of it and post it on my blog so that you can see. When I cut this, also I had a piece extra, and so this is to go on your envelope. So when you're using 6x6 paper like this and you cut it 4 inches, you've always got a 2x6 inch piece left over. So I like to use that for the envelope, and then I'll just trim off that little bit of white there after I glue that on and trim. So it'll come out looking like this. So that's always a fun little addition to have. But that's just how you do a quick little, well, it's not really quick. It's a little complicated. You just gotta, remember where you're folding, where you're gluing. So we're gonna say, I'll write this here. I'm gonna put glue. Let's just write it. Glue and glue. So if that'll help, we have glue, and fold this in, fold that up, and put glue on that side. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's project. Click subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye everyone.